Ready?
Welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, a video game music podcast. This is episode 20-6. We're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
Every week we listen to great video game music from the past and the present, all consoles. It's all fair game.
It really is. And quite frankly, it needs to be because, honestly, my taste in music is all over the friggin' place. Everywhere.
But not this week. Your tastes are firmly in the pigeonhole of the Super Nintendo.
Oh, wait, what? No. Oh, well, fortunately, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I guess.
How about if we have someone else come on the show? Is that okay with you?
You know, I suppose.
All right.
I'm always up for chatting with new friends.
I'm gonna call my other best friend.
Come on. What is this?
No, I just met him today. His name is Michael, or Home Halfway, as he's known on Twitter. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hello!
You are not Aussie.
Yeah.
At all.
How are things down under?
Kangaroo!
They are not. He's no kangaroo.
Barbecue.
He's
Foster's.
Australian for American beer.
Well, it's good to have you on the show, wherever you're from. I think you're from America. I'm pretty sure, but it's great to have you here, and we'll have your full address on the website.
It's good to have me, and I'm in Chicago.
There it is.
There it is. So you and Pernell have known each other for some time, is that right?
Over 25 years.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it true?
Wait, what?
Is this true?
There's been what? No, there's been time.
Yeah. 1994 in Sweden. Shout out to Sweden.
No, we've known each other for about...
We made our stock house in Stockholm. That's what we did.
I actually want to go with that now. Yes, we've known each other for 25 years.
That's right. We've known each other for 32 years. We've known each other.
Pernell was your school teacher, and
there it is.
Yeah, you just did not want to pick up math, and but just a careful.
But I also moonlighted as a janitor. So during my janitorial shifts, I tutored him in math.
So not only were you his math teacher, you were also his janitor and his math tutor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It worked out really well. He would clean the floor, then yell equations at me. It was really fun. It was great.
Done, didn't it?
Yeah, man.
It not?
Floors were bleached, and you were just yelling X equals 3, Y equals 2, and I didn't know what it meant, but we had fun.
And now he's Wall Street kid.
That's right. I'm in Wall Street. I'm in Sweden.
So what are some of your favorite video games? Like off the top of your head, are you playing anything right now, or anything that you've played in the past that has meant something to you?
I'm replaying currently Tales of Xillia, which is from my favorite series, the Tales series. It's like if Final Fantasy was good. It's really nice. I've been playing Tales for many years, and I felt like playing something great, so I'm playing Xillia. One of my favorite games, and I hadn't played it in about 5 years, so I felt like doing it again.
I do need to ask, just because, though I haven't beaten the game yet, so no spoilers, but which character would you recommend? Milia, or was it Jade? Not Jade, or it starts with a J, I know that much.
Jade?
No, it starts with a J, whose name I don't remember, because I always use Milia.
I don't know who you mean.
There it is. Sounds like you use Milia, too. That's the answer.
You don't even know
Milia over that other guy.
Those other characters don't even exist, right?
You mean Rowan or Alvin or...
Well, it's funny you said, because we have a mutual friend over here who plays Xillia also, and when I told her that I had it, I was like, I got it in my backlog, I need to start the game. She had me start playing it at her house, and it was time to choose the main character you wanted to run through the game with, and she was like, you can use Milia or that other loser. He's not worth playing as. Just use Milia. I was like, okay then, well, I guess I will.
The medical student whose name I'm completely blanking on, even though I'm playing the game almost every day.
Exactly.
Jude.
Yep.
Jude.
There it is.
That's who it is. Yeah, Jude's okay.
He's adequate.
He's adequate. I like Alvin. He just slashes and bashes. He's easy.
That's the kind of party member I want.
All right, Tales of Zeria. Is this a turn-based situation?
No, this is all action, baby.
Oh, right, because Tales games are like, yeah, I can't play these games.
Yes, you could. You play fighters almost borderline professionally. Yes, you could.
No, I don't think so.
This guy is like, Rob will sit here and play characters where their sole method of play is to counter what other people do, and he's telling me he can't deal with freaking slimes on a field.
Every time I play one of those action RPGs,
slimes are Dragon Quest.
Yeah,
there's a slime-esque monster in Tales.
Is there?
There is.
There totally is. At least I know in Tales of Destiny there was, because when you climb the Tower of Druaga, there's a ton of them.
Druaga?
Mostly.
Oh, that's another game.
No, it's another game, but it's also a secret dungeon in Tales of Destiny.
I believe we've talked about this.
Yes, we
The
have.
Secret Tales of Druaga.
That's exactly. Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well, let's listen to some music, some great music for the Super Nintendo. This is going to be nice. I feel like we hit on some of the classic systems, but most recently we've played a lot of more modern music, or more just like Red Book audio or just fully recorded sound. Now we're going to listen to some great sequenced music from the Super Nintendo. And our guest has brought over some music as well that he would like to listen to with us. Michael, did you remember the tracks that you gave me?
I remember one of them.
Awesome. Which one was that?
The Theme of Love by Final Fantasy, because it's about to get romantic up in here.
Excellent. All right. This is the Theme of Love from Final Fantasy IV for the Super Nintendo, composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Listening to the Theme of Love from the game Final Fantasy IV for the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom, composed by Nobuo Uematsu.
Thanks, Barbara Walters. We appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, Pernell.
It's like if Barbara Walters was on NPR.
Yes.
God, that's what happens when you drink a Soleil while someone makes you laugh. It just does not go down right.
Don't drink around me.
So yeah, I forgot how dramatic this track gets, like halfway.
I just think it's funny that he picked this track right after saying Tales was if Final Fantasy was good.
Yeah.
His first track, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you got something to say about that?
No, I stand my ground very well.
I don't blame you.
Their compositions are great. Everything they've done after 7, for the most part, is ungodly.
Yeah.
I can't fault you for that either.
Absolutely.
I'm very relaxed when it comes to like my game plays and stuff. So I can definitely acknowledge that I like 9 and 10 and 12 and whatnot. But if you were to tell me where my favorites lie, they're going to be 6 and 4, and that hasn't changed in all these years. Right. So
me too.
I need to go back and play those because all I'm doing is playing 10.
You really do
a lot.
10's overrated. It's okay.
No, well, the thing is, Rob has like.
I'm on 4th.
Seymour's a punk.
Yeah, Seymour's
well, Seymour is a punk. We can all agree with that.
Seymour's a punk, and Titus is terrible. But I mean, Yuna is like I think one of the best characters in any of the games. And Waka's just dumb. I like him.
I like that he's voiced by was it John DiMaggio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes him.
He should have
awesome
done it.
himself.
He should have done it as Bender.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
Bender should have been Waka.
Blitz boy, nothing special. What are you doing? Think your dad's so hot? He ain't nothing.
See, that would have been a game.
That would have been perfect.
Final Fantasy, we finally lighten up.
So, why did you want to pick Theme of Love? Is there something about this track that means something to you, or does it like just take you back into the world of Final Fantasy IV?
It's party, but it also reminds me of Final Fantasy IV, the whole Cecil Rosa relationship. I think it was like the first game I ever played where there was like a romance in it. I don't know, like an actual relationship, and not just, bard, white mage, red mage, black mage. It was actually like people and characters that cared about each other.
Yeah.
There was quite a storyline to Final Fantasy IV. It was pretty heavy, especially for 1991?
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that, because I feel like playing that game, I can't think of any game prior to that where I felt truly invested in the plot, exception possibly being Crystallis, but...
Yeah, maybe that.
But honestly, with this game, every time Kain betrays you, it hits you like a sack of hammers. Every time someone sacrificed themselves to save the party, you went, no, why you don't die? Come back.
And it kept happening. You Sid and Yang, and then Kain screws you over like 5 times. It's ridiculous.
Then Sid again.
Sid again. And then Edward again. It's like the love of God, guys. Just keep it together.
Exactly.
It's like real life, you just can't trust anybody.
No,
right.
Well, in that game, you could trust everybody because they were always sacrificing themselves for you. In the real world, it's like, look here, man. Only one of us is getting to this concert tonight.
Except for
sucker.
I never really finished 4, so I thought you guys were saying that they were like turning on you.
Oh no! Well, Kain did. But
Kain did like every 10 minutes. He's like, "Nah, I'm back with Golbez." And you're like, "No, I want to be back with Cecil." "No, I really like Golbez."
It really.
I'm gonna go to the moon with Golbez, but I miss Cecil. Like, what the hell, man? Make up your mind.
And you gotta say, I feel like back then, as young as I was playing that game, the second time Kain came back, I was like, "Look here, people. Don't take him back. We can do better than a Dragoon." Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, ain't happening again. What do you mean the plot narrative won't let me say no? This is stupid.
Then he leaves again, and he goes back on Golbez's airship, and you're like, what the hell? We went to the underworld together.
Yeah,
We've been through stuff, man.
We dealt with the underworld together.
We've been through stuff. You look like a lizard man. Like, I want you on my team.
Yeah, but honestly, like, all those betrayals and all the sacrifices... And honestly, also, even being a early English translation, even the writing, it was just a quality product, the likes of which I feel has not really been topped in even the modern stuff. And I will say, it's partly, this is going to seem like a little bizarre, but I think it's partly because it wasn't voiced. When it's not voiced, you put your own emphasis on the words and emotions. You picture how you think the characters would sound.
You pronounce the names the way you want to pronounce them.
Yeah, it's like Titus.
Yeah.
Aerith.
Aerith, exactly.
Aerith. Aerith.
All right, so our next track is going to come from the game.
And shout out to Tella. Shout out to Tella.
That old man has some spunk.
Medio broke my heart, man. He had to do it, didn't he?
I feel like this is why these kinds of games. I'm sorry for trail off, but this is why these games need to have like weird rewrites. Even if it ends up leading to like weird, like what if game overs, because it would be nice if there was like an alternate method where it's like, okay, he's going to do Medio, and you're like, don't do it, Tell. He's like, I'm going to do it. I'm old and angry, and then Cecil just like knocks him upside the head with like a club. It's like, well, there's no Medio. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah, no one's keeping you from the fan fiction for now.
Yes, there is. My poor writing abilities keep me away from the fan fiction.
No, that should increase it.
Yeah. Have you read some of the stuff that I've heard about?
Oh, mercy, no. This is still a G podcast.
Do it where nobody sacrifices themselves and they're all selfish.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Isn't
that would be real life?
Yeah, it'd be like Friends.
Friends, Ross and Rosa.
Kane's back and he's like, hey.
I'm imagining like
Gritty is like, can I be any more of a magic user?
That's good.
I can. Just wait till we get to the underground.
I like it. Sid would have Jennifer Aniston hair. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Pete Rocket.
Smelly chocobo.
Fun
Smelly
loving guy.
chocobo. What are they feeding you?
What are they feeding you? Because you really feed them.
Oh, Jesus.
Feeding them Googles. All right.
Chocobo,
Yeah.
Chocobo, it's not your fault.
Oh my God! Pick the next track
No,
before we die.
No, because when they get in the airship,
Oh,
they're like, pivot, pivot, pivot.
pivot to the left.
All right, yeah.
I'd be amazed.
All right, so our next track, I'm going to pick it first, Pernell. This is my track from 7th Saga for the Super Nintendo, composed by Norihiko Yamanouki. Yamanouki.
There's a lot of Namanu.
There's more N's in this that I typed more N's and there probably are in the name. And the track is called Lux Tizer. I believe that's how it's pronounced. From the
That's
game.
hot.
It sure is. It's from 7th Saga for the Super Nintendo. This is the track Lux Tizer from the game The 7th Saga for the Super Nintendo, composed by Norihiko Yamanouki. And yeah, I chose this track because it's just very chill. It's got like this kind of weird, it's almost like a modern kind of sound to it, but also old, like an old educational video in which we all, during the break, we were all just talking about Gilbert Gottfried doing documentaries. But anyway,
It was fantastic. Don't just brush it aside like it was like a wonder note.
no, it was
And Bobcat. And Bobcat.
and Bobcat.
You can do it together.
Especially Bobcat Gold. So just for context of the track that you picked. So this plays on the, like, when you're wandering the overworld in the main area of the game.
Oh, this is overworld music?
This is overworld music.
This
And
is some creepy overworld music.
nice. And for this game, it actually feels very
good place to
relaxing.
Detroit.
It's just like you're wandering Detroit. Exactly.
Yeah.
The
That's what it's like.
Or it's like the solar system in all of its vastness. Here to talk to us today about Saturn and Mercury is Bobcat Goldthwait.
God. I can't even do that voice. I just can't. I wish I could.
Did you know that there's more universes than there are grains of sand in the universe?
It's so perfect. Like, I could totally see him doing this entire bit I feel like he'd have to be doing it as Greg the Bunny, though. Like, he has to be someone holding the Greg the Bunny puppet.
That's what you were talking about, the puppet. I'm like,
yeah, he was the puppet on that really bad show, but also wasn't bad because it was bad because it wanted to be Married with Children.
Yeah,
but it wasn't bad because I would take anything to have Married with Children back at that time.
Did that even have a full season?
It had like 2.
2, wow.
Because Wild, I hate Married with Children.
Honestly, I don't think it's too wide. I think a lot of people do.
I wasn't into it. I mean, I understand. Like, it's like Roseanne. Like, I couldn't get into it.
Like, it was one of those, for me, it was one of those shows where I just watched it as in a sense of like, well, first of all, everybody in that show was awful. Let's just get that out of the way. But when I would watch it, I looked at it as being a guy who basically just had a not so great life, with the exception of the fact that he was able. With the exception of the fact that he was able to afford a ridiculously nice house on a shoe salesman's salary, but other than that, his life wasn't so great.
Yeah, it's the Simpsons thing where it's like, wait, you gone into space?
Your son owns a factory?
Well, back in the days, houses were affordable.
That is true. And then the Fire Nation attacked.
And Springfield, is the same town as like a nuclear plant, so really, how high is the property tax there?
You got a point, but they also have a Quickie Mart.
Actually, where we live in Wilmington, we have like 3 nuclear plants, like right around us.
Nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear.
But
no.
That was a Simpsons joke.
But yeah.
Press the any key.
I'm just saying, like, any day could be our last, Purnell. Just live every day like you have 4 arms.
You say that because I'm looking forward to getting those 4 arms.
That's right, man. You're halfway to Doc Ock.
I figure there's like, if a nuclear explosion were to occur, there's like that period where there's like that range between you're screwed and slow painful death and superpowers. And I like to hope that we are at least within the superpower range so that I'll have something to show for it. I want the ability to toast pizza rolls without using the microwave. I think that would be fantastic.
Well, someone's asking for everything.
Well, you gotta dream big. You gotta dream big.
Can I get this
soaring high? You're soaring high.
Can I get this pizza roll powers?
That's right. Activate.
Pizza roll powers. Activate. Right. What's your first track? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your first track?
Well, you know what it is because we somehow have the exact same game idea. Yeah. This may be the first time we've ever done this on the show.
Yeah, like where our topic is really, really broad, and then we just choose from the same game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doubly so because aside from the sound, you had no ties to the game either. So it was like that much broader. It's like, I think this sounds good.
I was just exploring games that I really didn't know a whole lot about, and this just really caught my attention.
So for
you
those
guys say you chose songs from the same game?
Yeah.
Yep, unexpectedly.
What? There's more SNES games than like any other console.
I know.
That's where the shock comes in, right? It's like unintended.
The hell?
So for those who aren't catching on yet, this is from the game The 8th Saga. Not really, but it should be because I want a sequel. And the title is called Lively Village, composed by Norihiko Yamanouchi. You're listening to the lively village from the game 7th Saga, composed by Norihiko Yamanouki. And honestly, when we were talking about picking tracks for the Super Nintendo, of all the options that were made available to me, for some reason I felt compelled to go with this because it seems like the sort of track that I know I love. In fact, it's not. I sort of know. I already know I love it.
Well, it's interesting. This doesn't sound like a Purnell track to me. Like when I first listened to it, it doesn't sound like one because you're into like the rockabilly, like what's that? The Johnny B. Bad.
Johnny B. Bad. Yeah, Johnny C. Bad.
Johnny C. Bad. Yeah.
And the thing about it is just that I'm into a lot of stuff, but for some reason, just through the way I just pick music, when I'm picking tracks for the show, I tend to gravitate towards rock type stuff. Mm-hmm. So it just felt like a nice opportunity to go, nah, see, Purnell's not a one-trick pony. Give him more roles. You know, I could play all kinds of characters, wacky characters like Jim Beam and Rock Buster. I mean, all sorts of things.
Do you think it's just how you're feeling in the moment? Like this is what you wanted to listen to?
Maybe.
Like that day, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. And I gotta say also, earlier we were talking about Final Fantasy IV and all the betrayal and the sacrifices and all. I want to say if there's a game I can think of where betrayals felt the harshest, it was easily in 7th Saga. This game was heavy on that mess. So, just for context before I go into it, have either of you played 7th Saga before?
Not me. Not me at all.
No, there's too many sagas.
Like, you stay at the first saga. Jeez.
We're still working on the fourth.
So in this game, it was a fairly typical JRPG in a sense, but it was more of a Dragon Warrior style where you were one person against the world. But there were other characters exploring the world for the same stuff you were trying to find. And every once in a blue moon, you might come across one in a town. It's like, hey, we're going to this dungeon together.
Cross purposes rather than like collaborative.
Exactly. Okay. So every once in a while, you might see a guy go, hey, man, you want to work together and take down this tomb? And you're like, sure, let's go together. Never hurts to have a friend. And then you go into this dungeon. And if it weren't for that guy, you'd be struggling through the temple. But he makes it a piece of cake. He's your best friend. Thanks for coming along, buddy. And then you fight the boss and you beat him and you get the new rune. And he goes, well, time to break them legs. And he just turns to you and the battle instantly starts. There's no time to heal. There's no boosting. And he heals up because he's a boss character. You don't. And it usually results in a lot of torment and pain. And you're just cursing the whole time, wondering, why the heck did I take this jerk along? Oh, yeah, because I didn't need him to get this far. But now I have to beat the guy who helped me get to become the man I am. What am I going to do? Cheat.
This is quite the life metaphor, isn't it?
It really is.
So, as in life, you use the Game Genie?
I did.
Absolutely.
Actually, no, I didn't. But honestly, if I had more time, like if I was playing it in the day, I probably would try to because it usually revolved around grinding or getting real creative with item usage and draining my entire inventory just to survive the fight. But I feel like those reasons make those betrayals more potent because not only was it narrative, but then they actually made you face consequences for agreeing to take them along in the first place. It was not great, but the game itself was actually great.
So is this like the generic town theme?
No, this is actually just the lively village. There's a bunch of different town themes in the game.
So I always like the idea of like there's like one town theme because then I would imagine like every like little city you go to, there's like always like the same guy playing like the same song, and you land there and you're like, oh, it's the same thing on the radio again.
I always imagine going to these darn towns and these JRPGs and looking around and like see like the 3 houses, and each house might have a bed in it. And then you try to imagine that this is supposed to be a bustling metropolis. Mm-hmm. How did it get to this point? How did it become a matter of 3 homes and a bed being a metropolis? What kind of country is this? I don't even want to know. Just sell me my ether.
Or that you can just walk into people's homes and be like, "Hey, how are you? How are you and the kids? How's your wife doing?" You know,
as like, you're looting their closet.
They're like, "Oh, I'm so concerned about this war." Okay, I'll see you later.
Thanks for the pants. I can't fit them. Oh wait, I can. How'd that happen?
I'll come back when I get lost and ask you the same questions.
I was like the games had like 3 houses in a village, but there'd be like 50 people.
they're just
like, what is the amount of homelessness in this town? And there aren't even options to buy anyway. What's going on?
They rotate bed usage.
Yeah, that's actually the more important thing. Where there's not enough beds for all the characters. They're all on the street.
They just rotate.
They just run around.
They're all just very minimalist, I guess. They all just crash on the street when they're done.
They have their hoedowns in the street. They sleep in the street.
There's like a tent village.
Pretty much. I don't quite understand, but you never even see the tents. Where do they put the tents?
They're in their inventory. They break them out when they need to heal.
Oh, that's true. Or cabins if they're really serious.
That is true. Those things are expensive. That's the lively life.
Oh yeah, that's if you're like super healthy and it heals everything and your junk gets bigger and you gain a family and it's amazing what you get with a cabin.
That's right. It's just fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I honestly miss cabins and RPGs. Honestly, only the first
whatever happened to my cabin?
I used to like the cabin. It felt like you were really stepping up in the world. You have a tent on near like the freaking like river near Gurgu Volcano, and you're like, barely healing, but we're just good enough to make it through. And then you're getting to the point where you're doing like the freaking mech tower. You're like, you know what? The heck with this. We're traveling heroes. Give me a cabin.
Well, I like what the story like the story like built in your head was like that you're like these traveling band of like heroes, and then like y'all like pack up into like this into one tent for the night, you know, and like it brings them closer together.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like it.
Like they've seen stuff together.
And for the record, I'm just going to state this. I may have said it on the show. I don't know if I have or not, but I'm feeling especially wacky today. It irks me that you play these games and your party is typically written well as being the saviors, if not of the world, then at least of the town and the surrounding areas at that given time. And no one will give you anything. The vendors still need to make a profit somehow. Like, look here, man. Either you give me the sword, or they're going to ransack your entire shop and you'll have nothing left to give. So let's make a deal. Give me some free stuff. I'm just saying.
Well, we're the only people that ever shop with them, so that's also kind of a problem. Nobody else buys anything except for us.
There's no grocery store, just the weapons shop that gets no business.
Exactly, and it's only the stuff at our current level. You know, they don't have stuff way below you or way above you that's unaffordable or very affordable. It's only that very specific stuff.
And they'll buy back anything.
They will. They will buy back anything. I know your weapons store. I want to sell you some fruit. Is that okay?
Yeah, I've been storing these 88, potions that I just don't need. And they're like, I'll take them for you.
You want this bow staff? I just wrenched it from the innards of a slime I fought in the sewer. I don't know what he was infected with, but you can have it for the low price of 500 gold.
I'll give you 10,000 gold for it.
Oh, yeah. Take it.
There we go. This doesn't matter. Nobody buys from them, and they have all the money in the world to give back to you. I want to live in that economy.
You and me both, man. Take me to Final Fantasy.
That's living.
All right, speaking of economy, no, I'm kidding. The next track is not about the economy. It is about secrets.
Malamars?
The secret of mana.
Is it magic? Is that the secret?
Secret of mana.
Isn't it magic? That's the secret, right?
This is the second track that Michael picked in secret.
It is the second track that Michael picked in secret.
The track is called Spirit of the Night and it is composed by Hiroko Kikuta.
This is the spirit of the night. Oh, night. Oh, yeah.
Well, you will be here in my arms. Spirit of tonight. Wow.
I wasn't going. Was that Jennifer Lopez?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Sabbath. The early stuff. Is that Volume 4?
listening to Spirit of the Night from Secret of Mana for the SNES, composed by Hiroki Kikuta. My spelling has been like, I don't know what I did.
Oh, mercy.
I'm going to blame you guys because it's
Spirit of the Night. Whoa.
Gotta make that magic happen.
That's right.
I mean, really though, right? Like, they just stole this from Jennifer Lopez, right?
They probably did. Honestly, it would be a dream to realize if that was actually the truth.
Right.
Oh my God, busted Kikuta. What are you doing there, buddy? Yeah, but like, so we were talking, like, so.
Goddamn thief.
So, Michael, you said you picked this track here. Like, out of curiosity, what was your motivation for this one? What is the tick for it?
Once again, just super nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
I played a lot of Secret of Mana, and I knew what I was doing like 5% of the time. But man, it was a fun game.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, as long as you're thwacking things, that's pretty much the gist of the game. And as you play through the game, you get different objects with which to thwack other things with. It balances out.
Yeah, they should have called it Secret of Thwack. If they knew what they were doing.
Well, the secret of thwack would be violence, and they wouldn't sell well at that point.
I don't know. People like violence.
That is true. I play a lot of video games. It's very true.
I remember playing this 3-player a lot with 2 friends, and we used to get in each other's way, and that caused a lot of violence.
I honestly never got to play this multiplayer, and I still is to this day. That's like my gamer regret, I'll call it, or one of my bigger ones. Is just knowing that this game had that multiplayer mechanic, but my brother wouldn't touch RPGs except Lunar and Final Fantasy VII, and my other brother. So it was basically a matter of. Also, my friends were all about beat 'em ups and fighters, so they wouldn't touch these. So it was just me running around the woods with my rusty sword, whacking things, and that was pretty much the gist of it. But I gotta say, like Michael mentioned earlier, that this track plays at the beginning of the game when your main character gets ejected from his town, which, while I admit is what is the catalyst to starting off the adventure. That part always irked me. It really, really did, because you're basically hanging out with your friends. They coerce you into going to this place you're not supposed to go. And then you're the one who gets knocked off the ledge onto where this sword is. And you need the sword to get home. And then you use that sword to save the mayor's son's life. You're a friggin' hero. And they're like, no, we grew up with you and everything, but we don't want you anymore. Get out. Including the guy whose life you saved. The guy who convinced you to go out there and get in trouble in the first place. There's just something insulting about that. That whole setup.
You know what? I disagree. I think Secret of Mana teaches you to not have friends and not care about people. Be a sociopath.
That is very true. But I don't want that. I want to be a hero.
No one cares. No. Learn your lesson, bro.
Oh, no.
Get out in the world, level up, come back, and show them what you're made of.
That's right. Just start raising homes, because now my sword can have fire cast on it.
Don't care about them. Throw some chickens like Link to the Past.
Raise your town with my chicken army.
That's right.
And Rabbites for good measure. Oh, mercy. I love this game.
Yeah, I really love the field theme.
I seriously had no idea what I was doing, but I beat it.
Honestly, like, this is one, like I said, this is one of the games where, like, you really don't even have to. Like, you can play through it, have a good time, you choose whatever weapon looks good.
I would say that if you stop halfway through and then, like, take a month off,
nope,
and then come back to it, you're lost.
Yeah, you'll be lost.
So lost.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's assuming you stop and come back. But if you just keep going,
if you
with that sense of not knowing what you're doing, you're just like,
I'm remembering now. That was my problem. Like, cause we were having work done on the house. We had to move into a little apartment for like a week. And I played this game a whole lot. And I got to a good point where I was like, okay, I'll stop here. And then we had to go back. We had to finish up the house. And we moved back in. And I was like, what happened?
I bet it was go to the upper lands. And you didn't know that you had to go to a cabin to do it.
It was something after an ice ghost.
Oh, Santa Claus.
Is it Santa Claus?
Yeah, it's the most goofy bosses in an RPG. You fight a giant who turns out to be Santa Claus.
But I remember playing this as a kid
with
my friends, and I think all I did was like level up with them, because we would just go around and hit things.
Which was that was a big
part of the fun, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's just life.
Going around just whacking things.
Just looking for things, and beating them up, taking their gold. finding Santa Claus.
Eating them and taking their gold. Look, I'm here for an adventure. I don't know what you're getting down with, Rob, but I want no part of it.
I'll tell you what. I'm getting down with my next track.
Oh.
Segue. This track is from the game Bahamut Lagoon for the Super Famicom, composed by Noriko Matsueda. This track is called Sub Battle. You're listening to Sub Battle from the game Bahamut Lagoon, composed by Noriko Matsueda.
So, honestly, when I picture a decent sub battle, I'm going to go with Capriati's over Subway.
Yes.
Kind of no contest.
It's a bit of a regional situation, but yeah, but never Subway.
I feel like even though Capriati's is a Delaware-branded sub company, I feel like I read about them getting that like worldly accolade regularly, at least nationally, rather, I should say. So, like, because obviously if you're going to have a sub battle, you need to have lots of oil, lettuce, no tomatoes, because the heck with those nasty being.
Crazy.
They're all wet and gloppy. No one wants wet gloppy on their stuff as I'm dropping oil all over it.
I mean, granted, I don't eat meat, so it's like I'm not eating anything that you're eating. So,
but here's the thing:
what we'll do is we'll
black olives.
We'll open up the sandwich, and I'll take what I want, and you take what you want.
So you're leaving me with the bread and the meat.
Yeah.
That there needs to be more.
No, that's all you want, right?
No. No. I want cheese. I want olives. I want mustard. I want passion. I want passion on my sub.
This track has got some passion. There's a lot going on in this track.
That there is.
There is. So I'm assuming sub battle is like maybe a secondary battle within the game. I don't think that this game takes place like in
You might have a submarine vehicle,
underwater vehicle, possibly. I don't know. This doesn't sound like it though.
I know so little about this game that is very possible.
I know that the music is really cool. Matsueda is an excellent composer.
I wanted to ask this while we have a moment here. So, bonsoir, Michael.
What?
What? So, if I remember, so just to make sure I got it right here. So, you do a lot of stuff on Twitter. You throw a lot of like zingers out. People laugh and such. And also sometimes you just kind of talk about what you want to talk about and just kind of get your thoughts out there too. But one thing I've always wondered about, being interesting thing just to inquire about, like, do you remember if there even was a point to remember when you just went from being like, I'm just having fun with this, to holy crap, there's a lot of people following me now?
Let's see. Well, Twitter's not fun.
That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I went on Twitter initially because I always joked around, as you know, and people, our mutual friends, always found it funny, and so I'm like, well, let's see if other people think I'm funny. So then I went on Twitter, and I was really awful for like 2 years, and it really bad. Like, I read my old tweets, and it's just horrible. I don't even know what I was thinking. And so it took me a while to find my voice, let's put it that way. And I slowly got better, and slowly but surely people started noticing, and then, yeah, I just kind of kept growing. I didn't expect it or anticipate it. It just kept going from there, man. It was crazy.
It was just like that thing that Rob told me about a ways back, where like you're just doing it and you're having fun, and then one day there's just that spike period.
Yeah.
Where you can't even measure it, it just happens.
Yeah, so suddenly there's like, oh, there's 10 people listening to our show. We're on the world stage.
That's right. That's right. Because like,
yeah. just kept going. More and more people followed me. More people found me. I would be recommended by folks, and it just kind of kept growing over time.
And then one day I'm watching Ellen, and it's like, wait a minute, I know that guy.
Oh, you didn't? You knew about the Ellen episode first, didn't you?
I feel like at least one of the cases where your face was on Ellen, I was like, wait a minute. No, the very first time. No, I didn't know about it until I already saw it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was like, holy cow, that is amazing.
Yeah, that was goofy.
Oh, that's for sure. But that's part of the joy. Like, you just say random stuff and you make people laugh. And honestly, in the world we're currently living in, sometimes that is the medicine that gets people through a lot of stuff, is a good laugh here and there. It's like, oh, this day is rough. But that's funny, and I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fair. Not all of my tweets are jokes, but most of them are, it's true. My account's pretty much whatever's in my head. It's just 90% of what's in my head is jokes.
Yeah, Rob will tell you. I mean, a lot of mine is like not so jokes, but then when I have those streaks, it's like, holy cow.
Your Facebook is honestly like, I had a dream today. Then it's like, well, I drove into work today. Well, going to the gym today. I'm like, I know exactly what Purnell's doing right now.
Right now, including that guy who was stalking for 2 weeks. But like every once in a while, I have like my moments where I'm like, that just actually feel ridiculously silly, and I want to outright express it. And I have a little bit of dark humor too, which some people don't like, and I can understand that for sure. But for me, it's almost like the way that I deal with a lot of rough stuff too. It's like, okay, I can take this and make it humorous. It feels a little bit better to digest it now. I feel great. You know, I think humor is a spectacular way to get through rough times. And like I said, I know that Twitter can be can be a major annoyance, but I can outright say flat out that I've read your tweets a lot of time. I'm like,
I don't know.
I know this guy. And I'm like, I'm glad to read because that made me laugh.
They won't give a Twitter account to just anybody, right?
Yes, they will.
No, of course not.
My dog has a Twitter account. I don't have a dog.
$100,000 to get a Twitter account.
Oh.
So you're telling me go to 7-Eleven and pick up a chocolate bar, mail it into Twitter, and I'm sold.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's all you got to do.
That's all you gotta do.
So easy.
They're just
Right? People make it so complicated.
They're low on chocolate. You get them chocolate,
Yeah.
and you're verified.
Bam, baby.
Yeah.
Brian, what's your final track?
All right. So my next track is going to be. Yeah, I feel like I need to make this the track. This is a different one. So this is from the game Contra 3, The Alien Wars. And the track title is from the stage 5, Nesting in the Sands. And I have a number of composers. I don't know which one did this specifically, but I have Miki Higashino, Masanori Adachi, and Topi Iwase.
I'm pretty sure this one is Miki Higashino.
I like that.
Yeah, this is a good soundtrack.
It's
actually.
a feel-good OST.
Feel-good
Perfect
OST.
for the stress.
Yeah, this is another stressful game. All right, stage 5.
Gonna go outside and wash the car right now. Oh, look at me. I picked a bad song, so I did the change in the middle of it. This was from Mystical Ninja. Track is titled as Tengu Mountains. Composed by Shigeru. Yeah, you know you want to turn it up. There we go. So just to get the rhythm right and not rhythmically, just stated. Track is from the game The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, titled Tengu Mountains, composed by Shigeru Araki, Yusuke, Kato Saiko Miki, and Yasumasa Kitagawa. And this was a very spontaneous pick because the track I announced prior to coming into this was a dupe from our very first episode, and I forgot. But I always come prepared with 55 spares, so no worries
That's
there.
right. Yeah, you always come in with these spiral notepads and Post-its.
That's the play, man.
Like you come in with like some kind of crazy, like you're a conspiracy theorist, and like here's like on the wall you have like charcoal, and you're like drawing line to line.
I have all the news right here that indicates that Sony and Nintendo worked together on an expansion for the Super Nintendo.
It goes from Chrono Trigger to Tenchu Stealth Assassins, and
I have all the notes to prove it.
All the connections are there. No, this is great. The Mystical Ninja games. These are amazing soundtracks. The Mystical, it's Goemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gamberi Goemon.
Of course, in America, back in the original release of this game, they didn't think that Americans could handle a name like Goemon and Bisumaru, so we got Kid Ying, Dr. Yang. He had a PhD, or was it an MD? I don't know.
I don't know. We're not racist. It's the 90s.
It's really, it was like such a terrible naming scheme, and I'm so glad that when the N64 version came out, they fixed it right up.
So, I mean, if this was one of the Goemon games, which like was this like one in the series in Japan?
I don't want to say this is the first, because I'm pretty sure there was some like an NES game before the Super Nintendo version. Yeah. It was just the first one the first one that came to the States. Only one being on the Super Nintendo. But this track has resonated with me from the day I played it, and it stuck with me throughout up until the present. It was a fantastic co-op game to play with friends. You could always screw each other over as far as like stealing each other's money when they beat guys down or beat
I love these
cats.
These co-op beat 'em up, co-op platformer games that just get in each other's way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, they're so much fun.
And then this track in particular was on a level that gave me a lot of grief. Right now, Untitled Goose Game is a really big hit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone talks about how mischievous the goose is. He steals your flute and eats your radio or whatever he's doing out there. But the original mischievous animal was the monkey. And this level was riddled with mischievous monkeys that drove me bananas. Yes, I did not intend that, but it came out that way anyway. And this level just consists of this ridiculous boppy track and monkeys squeaking and chirping and throwing rocks at you, and thankfully rocks at you, and just being a complete nuisance. And I loved every minute of it. Also, this game had like Gradius mini games and painting mini games and horse race betting.
Yeah, I know the future ones in the series I know of have like a lot of like there's like, even the bosses are like leveled, and there's like lots of cool stuff going on.
It's a fantastic, hilarious series.
Really cool series.
Have you ever played any of the Mystical Ninjas, Michael? Or like the Super Nintendo one?
I have not. I've never heard of him.
Oh man, honestly, I feel like if you do emulation at home and all, when you're like relaxing or something every once in a while, look into this one. I feel like this might be something you just to get a kick out of. Aside from this terrible naming scheme that they went with back in the day, the game surprisingly holds up well from a humor perspective and also a fun perspective. It's not complicated, real simple.
It's really cartoony, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like in a fun, like in a really, like it executes it really well. Not like
it's slapsticky.
Not like on the Nintendo where like Rockin' Cats was supposed to be cartoony, but it just didn't look that great.
Yeah, in this game, when your character gets hit, it goes whack, like a slapstick sound. You take a whack. I'm just using the word thwack a lot this episode.
That's okay. I'm gonna allow it.
It's the best
you should.
word. Oh.
Yeah. The fun graphics and actually being fun is a nice contrast to if you played that Teacup game, the one on that's got like 1940s type graphics to it. It's like
Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead.
Yeah, that game is brutal. Like, it's a fun game to play if you're down for challenge, but if you're not in it for the challenge, the graphics totally do not go well with how difficult it is.
No, it totally messes with you.
You just picture someone being like, oh wow, look, this is like a cool cartoon I love growing. I'm going to buy this game right now, sight unseen. And you're like, what the heck? Why am I getting my butt beat by a flower that's dancing the cha-cha? What's going on?
That's exactly what happened. That whole game's a prank.
It really is.
It's a prank. That's funny.
Like, there's some brutal ball. Like, there's like I think one of my favorite ones as far as like how cartoony but difficult they are is like there's a boss fight when you're in a casino and you fight a pair of boxing frogs. One is short and one is tall.
Yeah.
It was like probably one of the harder early fights I got into. I think at one point one of them turned into a slot machine even. It's a very weird battle.
It's funny because this music really fits
and
that aesthetic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it really does.
I love cartoony games. Oh, and then the second one, of course, was that weird ice cream castle that chased you and barfed a gumball machine. It was so weird.
I think you're talking about Dreams again.
Little column A, little column B.
I didn't get that far.
See, that's what I'll have to come out there and visit one of these days, and we'll just like sit down and play it. and we'll get stuck at the same part I'm stuck at home.
You watch Purnell play it, so then you can actually see all the parts of the game that you missed. That's what I do.
Works for me. Stress free.
All right, I'm going to turn this track down, all the way down.
Down.
And we're going to get into the part of the show that we call the bonus round.
Bonus round.
The bonus round is the part of the show where we play covers and remixes and deep cut arrangements based on our theme.
And salami.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, salami.
Back on the sub battle. All right, so
I never left. What are you talking about?
I'm going to go with this game because we've already heard some Secret of Mana. So this is from Chrono Trigger, The Brink of Time arranged soundtrack. And so composed by Yasunori Mitsueda, but arranged by Hiroshi Hata and Kauta Ashitsuki, known as Guido. That's the name of their ensemble.
I'm just picturing a guy snapping his fingers and flicking a knife.
Yeah, this is the title track from the arranged album, The Brink of Time, from Chrono Trigger Arranged.
Boom, ba, boom, boom.
It's 9 o'clock. You're listening to Rhythm and Pixels Radio. This was The Brink of Time from Chrono Trigger, The Brink of Time Arranged, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda and arranged by Hiroshi Hata and Kauto Atsuki.
I have to say, that was quite an exquisite piece.
It did.
I felt it in here, in my heart.
I know.
Somewhere past my soul. I'm not quite sure how far past it was, but it was there, man.
Purnell,
It was great.
keep it down. Hold your excitement inside.
I'm trying as hard as I can.
Anyway, I love the smooth jazz. I ain't gonna front.
You ain't gonna front, huh? Okay.
Stop it.
No, I really like the smooth jazz. I really enjoyed that arrangement. I like a good flute solo.
Nobody asked, but thanks.
Stop.
All right, Purnell, what's your bonus round track?
My bonus round track ain't that funny. Mine is going to be
I'm sassy.
The Boss Battles Metal remix from the game Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals. And it was remixed or covered by God Metal. Yeah, I snuck that guitar in there. You didn't think it was going to show up, and then BAM!
That was a good mosh pit, guys. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, got a little bit of blood coming out my nose. That means we know it was successful. That was a
that's right.
pit.
I dislocated a shoulder. I'm feeling good.
Oh, yeah. That was the Boss Battle Metal remix from the game Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals, done by the ever-excellent God Metal. If that's not how it's pronounced, someone feel free to correct me because I want to know.
I don't know, but that's one of my...
It's the internet. Nobody corrects anybody.
Except for all the time.
No. We're the experts. No, we're not.
We're not.
No, that's one of my favorite game tracks ever. It's just so good. That and the boss music.
Now, this is the boss music.
Okay, it's the Battle 2 music.
There you go.
That's what it was.
This is a track from the game that
really good.
I've always liked it from the moment I heard it, but I hadn't owned the game proper. So I had a buddy that also lives in Chicago who would rant and rave about how amazing Lufia 2 is. And then eventually he convinced me to go out and give it a shot myself. And I think that was the thing I most looked forward to when I booted it up was I could finally hear this song within context of the game. And it did not disappoint. Metal or non-metal, this track is one of the all-time SNES greats for me. And I think the fact that it came from a lack of nostalgia speaks volumes for how good I think it actually is.
It really stands up on its own. Well, for more information on the bonus round part of our show, go to rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to the Bandcamps and SoundClouds and web pages everywhere where you can download the music, buy the music, and support the artists. Thanks for joining us on episode 20-6 of Rhythm and Pixels, our Super NEStalgia with Michael. 20-6.
No, I was saying, dude, I'll tell you later.
You'll tell me later.
Yes.
I misspelled
What? Share with the class.
Well, he'll have to well, I was basically making sure you didn't say your full name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Michael Obama.
Oh, stop it.
That's right.
He's like,
for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
And had a good time.
Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while tonight, listening to some classic game tunes and getting stupid.
This has been a fantastic, man. This has been a great episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. No,
you owe me.
What do I owe you? My presence in your home for beers and games? Yes, we can do it, baby.
That's right. You owe me big for being on this thing.
That's right. That means I'm going to play through Cuphead at your house. You got it.
Deal. I'll just watch you suffer while you play it.
I can live with that.
Well, can you tell our listeners?
I'm not playing that damn thing.
Can you tell our listeners where they can find you and maybe some stuff that you're doing in the near future?
I'm not going to tell them where they can find me, but I can tell them where they go find my accounts.
Find you online. Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Totally.
I just want to be very clear.
Of course.
I'm home_halfway on Twitter. And I also run Spitfire Comedy Show here in Chicago. I don't perform, so it's really great. It's the fourth Thursday of every month, and it's at I.O. Chicago. And it's a hell of a lot of fun. We get some of the best comics in the country every month. I don't know how, but that's actually true. And it's been a lot of fun. We've nearly sold out every month, so get to my goddamn show. Spitfire Comedy Show. It's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, MySpace, Friendster, High Five. It's everywhere.
Well, we'll have links to the Friendster and MySpace pages on the website.
But is it on Google Plus or Yellow?
It's on Google Plus. It's not on Yellow, but it's on Zanga.
Oh, okay. On Zanga. That's good. That's what I'm rocking.
I heard about you guys on Club Penguin.
Oh, yeah. That's true. We started getting on Club Penguin, and next we're going to make an Angel Fire page. It's going to be great.
Well, it's party time, man.
We're everywhere.
I love it. Well, if you'd like to learn more about, if you'd like to get in contact with us, Robin Purnell, if you have any track suggestions or topic suggestions, or if you're in a band and you'd like for us to hear more about you, please send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
And if you'd like more information about our show, full track listing from all of our episodes, and access to all of our older episodes, go to the website.
rhythmandpixels.com.
Check us out on all of the social media platforms. Most of the conversation's happening on Facebook, but we're also on Instagram and Twitter. It's Rhythm and Pixels, all one word. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/rhythmandpixels. All of our episodes are posted up there as well. We also have a 24/7 radio station playing nothing but 8-bit and 16-bit classics and deep cuts. And if you'd like to support the show, just tell people about it. I keep telling you that holidays are coming up, right? Halloween is coming. When kids come to the door, instead of giving them candy, you give them
a URL,
USB sticks with episodes,
your favorite episodes.
Put it.
Yeah, no one will ever bother you again.
No, they'll bother you. They'll bother you with more recommendations for fantastic beats.
And this is the only way that people are going to get to know our show is just random USB sticks
shoved in apples.
And
just
inside apples.
Throw them at cars that drive by. It's okay. You live once, guys.
We do
just
graffiti.
throw.
I also want the driver of the car to live a longer once.
You have to aim, obviously.
Oh, jeez.
So you can also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/rhythmandpixels. There you get access to a live recording of our episode once a month. And we also like to give you a shout out at the end of every episode. So we'd like to thank That Nick Walker, Mike Myers, Phantom Jest, Steve Miller, Autistic Gamer 89, Cameron Werma, Christopher Shenstrom, Bobby Arson from One Up Funk. Check them out on Instagram at One Up Funk. Check out Wicked Sephiroth, OK Impala, Kung Fu Carlito from the Heroes 3 podcast, Michael Bridgewater from the Forever Sound Version podcast, Brian Pitt, Chris Murray
Switching it up, huh?
Yeah, Ed Wilson from the VG Embassy. New.
Gabbo.
New Patreon member Alexander Proudfoot, Davy Cakes, the dude, Duderino, that dude. The Last Weekend, also new Patreon member Bedroth, Jupiter Jazz, Solus Sanctuary, Damian Beckles, Joe Vasallo, Chris Steenerson, Alex the Messenger, patron saint of all VGM podcasts, and David Smith, who after about 2 years of getting his name correct. So thank you all so much for your continued support of the show.
All that therapy really paid off. To get that out there. You got it right.
It really keeps us going. And in the next month, we're going to have some special content just for our 4th anniversary and for our 200th episode.
So we just need to figure out what the heck it's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be some fun stuff. We're also going to have some stuff freely available to just everyone, probably some live streams and some goofiness. But yeah, that'll all be available online. So thanks everyone.
Also, listening. I just realized something.
What's that?
I think due to how this episode will come out, by the time this episode actually hits, I believe we'll have just hit our 100,000th download.
That's right. So 100,000 downloads is kind of crazy.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Scary.
I love downloading.
Stop all the downloading. That's our show.
I'm a computer.
Oh my God, don't get started on that. So our last live show, like we just stopped doing everything and just started watching those on YouTube because it was just like, I remember those.
They were
once a year. I watch all of them.
I know they're
still good.
They're still funny.
Oh, they hold up beautifully after what, 20 years?
Yes.
It was pre-YouTube.
It's pre-YouTube. That's right. Oh my God.
It was E-bombs, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. E-Bon's World.
Yeah, we're talking about the G.I. Joe fake PSAs. They're just so
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like...
Have you seen my purse? It was just over
It's
there.
Cartoon Network Adult Swim comedy before Adult Swim, you know?
And it was gold.
Yeah.
It was gold.
Give him the stick. Don't give him the stick.
Don't give him the stick. Well, thanks for listening to Rhythm and Pixels. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm Pernell.
I want to thank Michael for joining us on the show. Mike, thanks again.
And Michael.
Mikey Kids.
Michael. You're welcome. You owe me.
I told you, Cuphead. You got it, bro.
Deal. You got it.
All right, thanks for listening.
Bloweth over.
Thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you next week.
And remember, video games are all about having a good time and having fun with them. Enjoying it by yourself or enjoying it with your friends. And while it is cool to have a decent knowledge or level of quote-unquote expertise in the hobby, at the end of the day, it's only relevant in the sense of just general conversation and having fun. Frank can play a lot of games or very little games, but at the end of the day, it's all about just enjoying what you do play and having fun with people who have a common interest, same common interest as you do. Don't be that jerk who wants to flaunt over people and claim that they just aren't as, I don't know, accredited as you are, because it ain't worth it. You're wasting everyone's time, including your own. Just have fun, talk shop, and be cool. That's what it's all about. I want a sandwich, a sub, a good sub,
I think you're pretty.
Oil.
Yeah, you need dinner.
Yes, I do.
That's right.